Yo, bro, can I be real with y'all, bro? Can I be real with y'all, bro? I want to be real with y'all, bro. When it comes to starting a video, bro, that shit, that shit is something else. Intros are something else. Like, we're gonna talk about authenticity inside this video, and I feel like this shit is really just hitting me like a motherfucker because it's like, bro, doing an intro for a YouTube video, bro, like trying to be on like some, I don't know, like I'll start the video and be like, I'll say some shit, and I'm like, damn, nigga, like. Let me fucking redo that shit. But it's like, nigga, there's never a perfect intro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you don't know how many. If I showed y'all how many times I started this video off, yeah, it would be ridiculous. So I just want to mention that shit. Like, nigga, you gonna see how that plays into the theme of what's going on this week and for the full moon and fucking this whole entire Leo season, right? So stay tuned because it's gonna be fire as fuck. But I do want to mention how I have some deals going on. You see stuff like that, right? If that happens, I instantly think, nigga, should I start the video over type shit? But it's like I'm not about to do that. Like that's just too much, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to these deals I'm offering for my coaching, right? I was doing this deal called Half Off Genie, and it was only for like 5 people at first, and then I extended to like 8. I extended it to 8. I feel like I didn't pronounce extended fully, but yeah, I extended that to more people. But then even extending it to more people, it's like some people saw the deal kind of late, and it's like they didn't get a chance to really hop on it, and it's like I feel for those people who wanted it but they couldn't get it in time. So instead of it only being limited to how many people DM me at a certain amount of time, well, it's still going to be based upon time. Here's what I mean. From now until the end of Leo season, right? Until August 22nd. From now until August 22nd, if you guys want half off certain coaching, just look at this PDF right here. Just this little picture. So if you go to my YouTube, then click on this community tab right here, you know what I'm saying? It's going to load and then you're going to get here and you could read this and you're going to see that if you DM me, right? On Instagram and you say half off Genie, you're gonna get half off any of these services listed down here. You know? So all you gotta do is DM me, tell me which one you want half off on, and then we can set up a time and a date. And yeah, I take PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. So once you send the payment type shit, I'll send you the link to the call for our scheduled time and date. And then on that time and date, we're gonna hop on a call and it's gonna be fire. Cause I already did a good amount of y'all now. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was pretty lit talking to some old faces, some new faces. So I look forward to seeing some new faces. Hopefully for the ones who couldn't hop on the deal, who want to hop on the deal and told me about it. Now you can hop on the deal. I got y'all. So with all that being said, right? Last week in this video right here, that was a Patreon exclusive. Y'all know on Patreon I do these every single week. We talked about how last week dealt with pretty much learning from the past to discover your most authentic forms of expression. And I ain't gonna lie, my most authentic form of expression was coming on this video and telling y'all that I fucking hate intros and that I tried doing this shit a million fucking times with like a certain kind of and it just wasn't. I just didn't like it. It just felt fake. I'm like this shit ain't authentic. We just learned about authentic expression. Let me get some authentic shit. So with that being said, some of y'all may have realized that last week, like last week, or you could say this week, pretty much like today is Saturday. Today is Saturday. So from we could just say last Saturday to this Saturday, you could have noticed that more authentic parts of yourself wanted to come out, and you could have blocked them because of what happened in the past, or you could have been learning from the past and seeing that, damn, inside the past I did this. I want to change this by doing, I want to change that by doing this new thing. You could have had people get hurt by you because you was being more authentic instead of hiding yourself. It could have been a whole lot of shit that just dealt with your authentic nature popping out, and it also dealt with some stuff from the past. So it could have been that in the past you weren't authentic, or in the past you went through stuff that helped you to be more authentic now, and you're seeing that now. It could have been stuff like that, you know. Long story short, it's about really being your authentic self. That was what was going on last week, and that's really a big theme for right now, because with the North Node inside Aries, that's all about how our destiny for like a big portion of this year is to really head in the direction of our true self and our initial self and our most authentic identities, right? So with that being said, with this week, when I was talking to you, you could say the time council, right? So the time council is a group of beings that are inside the solar system, and even outside the solar system, inside the galaxy, inside different constellations. They pretty much like come together and they oversee various timelines on Earth, and they kind of tell me essentially like what's going on and what to kind of expect, right? And then after they tell me things, I look at the astrology like the day of. So today, I looked at the astrology, but I already knew what was going on before the astrology. And it's like with the astrology, I see how it links up with what I'm being told, and I kind of just merge the two. Then I give you guys what's going on and stuff like that. So this week was about is going to be about kind of like getting our inner self, our emotions, and overall our lives together, right? One may say that that was confirmation. But anyway, with all that being said, right, let me explain why that is. So naturally, it's like with all the stuff going on in our lives, we may just feel emotions getting brought up, and it's like, okay, bruh, it's time to finally get this shit in check. Or you could just have more authentic parts of yourself popping up that make you think, you know what, bro, it's time to stop doing this bullshit. You could have experiences that make you think, you know what, bro, it's time to really get this shit in order. But a lot of things are going to be coming from the inside, making you feel like you got to get yourself in order, especially with the full moon, right? Now, with the whole entire Leo season, it's going to be about really expressing the authentic parts of yourself, but also learning from doing that, because while trying to express the authentic parts of yourself, you may go overboard, and or you may just express what you think is authentic, but then you look at it like 10 days later, you're like, you know what, that was not really me type. It's going to be a whole thing, right? So let me explain that with different astrological things going on. So I first want to touch on how Mars, right, was just in Taurus, right? And it was also in Taurus with Uranus. Now that gave the theme of taking action on reforming your values. So it was like you could already value certain things, but it's like you could have been playing out certain values, like like you could say that you value, let's just say, playing video games, right? But then as you played video games, you started valuing it as much. You're like, you know what, bro, I need some new values, bro. I want to value something higher in life. I want to value my own creativity. So it's like you could have been reforming your values, right? And that didn't always mean that you let go of old values. It could have just meant that you do them differently. So it's like now you only play video games after completing a project or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It could have been stuff like that, you know? Think about that when it comes to various forms of life. You could have just been reforming your values in several different ways, right? So we were taking action upon doing that, right? However, Venus, right, is in Leo with Vesta. So with Venus and Leo, right, that makes you value expressing yourself. So it could have been taking action on reforming your values towards how you express yourself. You could have been like, you know what, bro, I'm tired of acting this way. I want to act that way. For example, with me, I was tired of that fucking intro shit, so I just came on a whole different way. I'm like, nigga, fuck the intro shit. Let me tell you how the fuck I feel about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's taking action on reforming your values towards how you express yourself. And with Vesta's kind of like your inner spark, your inner flame, your inner passions type shit. So it's like you also valued reforming those inner passions. So you could have been passionate about some bullshit before, but now you're on some real nigga shit. Or you could have always been on some real nigga shit, but you was hiding that shit, and now you're saying, fuck that. I gotta be on some real nigga shit. I gotta follow my true spark, my true passions type shit. You know what I'm saying? So with Mars was in Taurus with Uranus. So you could have been taking action on reforming those values, right? But now Mars is entering Gemini, that's gonna make you take action on your mind. And Jupiter's also there too. So with Jupiter, that's expanding on your mind. So it's like Mars is gonna make you take action towards expanding on your mind. You see what I'm saying? Which could deal with learning, having new thoughts, having new ideas, but then also expressing your mind and communicating. Because Mercury is also in Leo. So that's gonna be about expressing your mind. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna feel more of an urge to express your ideas and your thoughts in your mind and communicate more, which you got to be careful because that could cause certain arguments, or you could just say too much too early type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because understand that at some point Mercury is going to go into Virgo July 25th, and when Mercury hits Virgo, that's going to be about analyzing your mind. You see? So it's like you're going to be expressing all this shit, but as you express yourself, you should also analyze how you're doing it and if it truly lines up with your authentic self. Because sometimes you just feel the urge to express shit, but you're not realizing what's truly you and what's not truly you yet. So with all that extra energy for expression, you got to be a little bit careful, and that's why with the full moon in Capricorn is gonna balance out because the full moon. Because what everything I just said is literally gonna be going on like everything I just said was it was starting with July 20th, which is today, right? The full moon in Capricorn is gonna be tomorrow. That's gonna be about really structuring your inner self. So remember that theme about getting your inner self and life together? Yeah, nigga, full moon in Capricorn. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I be getting told about the things before checking the astrology. You know what I'm saying? So with the full moon in Capricorn, right? A full moon is always about like your like everything inside of you is coming to a height. You know what I'm saying? So your emotions, what's it called? Your inner like, cause inside of yourself you have your like inside your like Cancer. Think about the moon like Cancer the crab. A crab goes inside of its shell. When you go inside yourself, you experience your emotions, you experience your shadow self, your inner self, you experience the hidden thoughts and stuff like that. So it's not purely your shadow, it's just what's going on inside of you. You see what I'm saying? Which can deal with certain shadow stuff that you're not seeing. But everything inside you comes to a height with the full moon, right? Which is why people go crazy sometimes, right? However, when it comes to Capricorn, right? With it being in Capricorn, Capricorn is about structuring the inner self, literally. You know what I'm saying? It's about structuring that shit so you can actually like take better action inside the world and achieve certain goals. So with all this shit popping up, right? There'll naturally be an urge for it to be compressed. Now, that doesn't mean avoid your shit, but it means think about how you want to go about your shit. So don't suppress it, structure it. Don't put it down. Simply go like, okay, before I just express this raw ass emotion, how would I actually like to do it? What is the best way to go about actually doing this thing real quick? You see what I'm saying? Because with everything popping up inside you, you could feel all kinds of fucking ways, bro. And if you don't get your shit in check and think about how you want to truly go about expressing yourself inside the world, you could start expressing shit too much. And it's like on top of that, with it being a Capricorn, it's gonna be naturally wanting to compress. So if you're not naturally trying to structure your shit, you're gonna already have this compressing energy that you could be fighting. It is gonna just cause like this weird blow up shit if you don't really process the shit properly, bro. So whatever's coming up inside you, bro, learn how to structure that shit properly and really take and how to and learn how to take structured action upon that shit. Don't act too early because with all the extra sauce, especially with the sun entering Leo July 22nd, you're gonna be wanting to express yourself a lot. You know what I'm saying? Now when you now let me say this too though. When the sun enters Leo July 22nd, you're gonna have Mars and Pluto trining the South Node. Now Mars and Pluto trining the South Node, that's gonna deal with pretty much you're gonna take action and have a deep impulse towards the South Node deals with parts of yourself that you're pretty much leaving behind, but that you've learned from. So if let's say it was doing a square, that would mean that you could have old parts of yourself coming up that are fucking you up. But right now, because it's a trine, that's a harmonious connection. So with the South Node is currently in Libra, right? So what we're leaving behind is overly balancing who we are on the inside with who we are on the outside. With with the North Node, that's the opposite of the South Node, which is inside of Aries. That's making us really just express our most authentic self and not really caring about what niggas gotta say, you know? Now, because the South Node was inside of Libra, right? That means that even though we're gonna leave behind that whole entire let me hide this but express that, we're gonna leave that behind. But there was still certain valuable lessons. So with the Sun entering Leo, making us want to express ourselves, we're gonna take the helpful lessons from learning how to balance ourselves. So it's like so that doesn't mean that you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm not gonna express myself at all." You may just realize, okay, I know for a fact that I want to express this shit. But let me do it in 3 days instead. Before it would have been, you know what? I want to express this shit, but I'm just not going to. Now you're saying, fuck that. I'm gonna express that shit, but in 3 days. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're it's like you're having these different astrological link ups happen that are still helping you to know how to be your most authentic self, but also understand how to properly express that shit. But if you're not consciously trying to realize this stuff, you may end up getting like fucked up because a lot of so you're gonna have there's two main fuck ups. Of course, there's a whole bunch of other ways to quote unquote fuck up, but the two main ones are gonna be this: either you're expressing yourself too fucking much and not realizing that you're just wilding out right now, and you're gonna look back on yourself and think about yourself and be like, damn, that was not who I truly am type shit. So some people are gonna be too active, too expressive, letting out all the worst shit, or just letting out it might not even be the worst shit, but just stuff that's not the most authentic, right? Then you have the other side. Some people are not gonna express themselves at all and still be too goddamn shy to really put themselves out there type shit. You know what I'm saying? The best people are simply the ones who just learn how to feel the energy of, okay, I gotta express myself at this period of time. I gotta analyze this shit. I gotta, oh yeah, do this big thing over here, but I gotta analyze stuff over here. If you could just that could sound hard, but you just have to really get in tune with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that. Like everyone has that small look. If you guys need some help with coaching and stuff like that, I'm doing the half off deals. You can ask your spirit guides and your higher self right now what's the best way to go about certain shit. You know what I'm saying? So go to my YouTube and stuff like that. Go to the community tab and everything like that, and really peep this joint. You know what I'm saying? So I can help you out, but simply if you just meditate and get in tune with yourself, you're gonna know how to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need the coaching, but it could be a really big help if you guys need a coaching or spiritual reading real quick. I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, right? That's how you gonna that's how you're gonna properly go about this by learning how to properly express yourself, but also learn when to analyze and sit back. You know, so July 23rd, the sun is going to trine the north node, right? So when the sun trines the north node, that's gonna be your harmonious expression of your true self. You know what I'm saying? I just want to include that to show even more how you're having good link ups happening. There's actually gonna be a lot of connections that I'm not gonna mention with the North Node. I think like Pluto's gonna sextile it at some point, something like that, and then Mars too. It's something like that. There's gonna be a lot of harmonious links with the North Node that help you express your most authentic self. You see what I'm saying? So when you feel the urge to be in tune with your authentic self, definitely take that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you ever think about, damn, am I fucking tweaking? Maybe just think about, damn, I know that the way I feel is not wrong, but maybe I need to find a new way to express it, or I could just wait to express it, but don't wait too long type shit. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to before. I mean, okay. So let me say this real quick. Mercury's gonna enter Virgo, July 25th, along with Mars conjuncting Jupiter, right? July 25th. So what that's gonna make you do, right? With Mercury being in Virgo, that's about analyzing your mind and structuring your mind and your ideas and your thoughts. With Mars conjuncting Jupiter in Gemini, you're going to want to take action upon expanding on your mind. But because it's a sign of Virgo, you should take action upon expanding upon your mind and analyzing that shit. You know what I'm saying? So instead of expressing it, analyze it and do all that structure and shit. So around that period of time with July 25th, that should be a time where it's like you're letting all that shit come through, but you're still structuring that bitch and not letting that shit out and not letting that shit out too fast. Like for example, you may have a great ass idea, right? Don't put the idea out too fucking fast. You know what I'm saying? Maybe wait a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now with the new moon, right? This is gonna be August 5th. It's gonna be in Leo, right? So it's gonna be about finding new ways to express your inner self. You know what I'm saying? So around July 25th, you would around July 25th, you're going to find new ways to express yourself for a fact, right? But don't think you have it fully set in stone yet. But let me say this too. Around August 5th, Venus and Mercury will also be in Leo too. So that's going to be valuing expressing your mind because I'm pretty sure Mercury's going to retrograde at some point. Yeah, Mercury's going to retrograde into Leo at some point, you know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna explain that later because I don't think Mercury's retrograding at August 5th, but August 20th is definitely retrograding. But August 5th, Mercury, I said Mercury. Holy shit! Actually, no, I think it did retrograde. Let me check real quick. Hold up. I knew that something was off, so it definitely does retrograde. But I was looking at the wrong date. I meant to say that August 5th. With the new moons in Leo, you're going to have Venus and Mercury in Virgo, with Mars and Jupiter in Gemini. So, with that being said, Venus and Mercury in Virgo is going to be valuing, analyzing your mind, and then Mars and Jupiter in Gemini is taking action on your mind. So, it's going to be all about taking action on expanding upon your mind and analyzing it and valuing all the analytical shit. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then with the full moon in Pisces August 20th, you see a full moon in Pisces, right? It's going to be the height of all the emotional stuff and Pisces is releasing it. So it's going to be all about releasing. So even though you're going to have this new moon in Leo about expressing yourself, right? It's going to be time to release certain things. So this is when Mercury retrogrades back into Leo. And a Mercury retrograde is always looking back at the past what's inside of your mind. So past thoughts, past ideas, past ways of communicating. It's going to go retrograde inside Leo. So you're going to see past ideas about expressing yourself, past ways of thinking and expressing those thoughts, past ways of expressing yourself with communication, right? You're going to be seeing all those things with Venus still inside of Virgo, right? So it's like you're gonna value analyzing your mind when it comes to all of those old thoughts and ideas and ways of expressing that shit. And because the full moon's inside Pisces, you're gonna be releasing all of that shit. You know, you're gonna be releasing all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Mars and Jupiter will still be in Gemini, and Uranus will be in Taurus for reforming your values about analyzing your mind and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, full moon in Pisces will be a whole leap of just releasing old thoughts, ideas, mindsets, and ways of expressing that shit. And then September 3rd is going to be a new moon in Virgo. At that period of time, Mercury is going to be direct inside of Leo. So new ideas about expressing yourself, and then eventually analyzing that shit again. And then you're going to analyze it again when Mercury hits Virgo. Because since Mercury's going direct inside Leo, at some point it's going to hit Virgo too. Then Jupiter is going to still be in Gemini. Mars at that point is going to be inside Cancer, taking action upon your emotions. And then Sun is going to be in Virgo with Vesta. So it's going to be about expressing yourself, but really analyzing your expression and learning how to gain passion from first analyzing how you express yourself. And then Venus is going to be inside Libra for balancing the inner and outer self and valuing that type of stuff. So long story short, when September 3rd hits with the new moon in Virgo, it's going to be really analytical at that period of time, which we already have a lot of analytical stuff popping up. And I want to mention that because with this 8 year, right, we're inside of an 8 year. Now, people mention the 8 year as a year of like complete abundance, right? 8 years have abundance, yes, but is the more accurate term is transformation. So as you can see with Leo season, right, we are expressing ourselves way more and finding authentic ways of expression way more. But we still have to we're still forced to analyze a lot, as you could see, and that's because we're still transforming this whole entire year. So it's like you're gonna have authentic expression popping up, but it's not gonna be the same as it would be inside of like a fucking like 5 year or a 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Like if the year's a 1 year, right? It's like that's the new beginning type shit. It's like, oh yeah, that's the true new expression being born. You know what I'm saying? If it's a 5 year, it's like by the time a 5 year hits, you usually found the way to express yourself, and now it's time to go full force and expand upon that shit. You know what I'm saying? With an 8 year, you're gonna be transforming a lot. So you're gonna be seeing the past, making that shit to some new shit, but then always constantly transforming inside of an 8 year. So it's like this may not be what everybody wants in regards to I finally found my truest way of expression, but what it is gonna be is definitely finding it's gonna be taking those steps and finding new ways to express yourself, which you never thought possible before. And there's still gonna be things you have to analyze and get right. But best believe if you're focused on transformation, you're never gonna be on some shit where you're getting left behind. You shouldn't feel left behind if you're sitting back analyzing sometimes. If that's all you're doing, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But if you're expressing yourself, then analyzing, then you do your shit, then you gotta take a break, that's cool, bruh. So I want to mention that because you shouldn't want to force anything, but you should take those actions that you feel called to take, even when you have that fear that's trying to hold you back. Don't let fear hold you back. But if you realize that, oh yeah, like I'm doing this shit and this don't feel authentic, that's when you gotta analyze and change that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you know some shit is authentic, and you're just thinking, oh, what they're gonna think about me, that's where it's like, nah, fuck that. Express yourself truly type shit. Then analyze how you want to go about your shit properly inside the future, bro. So with that being said, bro, that's pretty much it for this video. You know, um, half off Genie is going on right now to get half off the spiritual services, bro. I really recommend that if you want some extra help. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I love you all. I'm gonna catch you on my next video. Peace out.